Iran. Well, let's hear now from Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in his first news briefing of the war.
We eliminated the tyrant Khamenei, as well as many senior figures in the terrorist regime. We eliminated the old tyrant, and the new tyrant, Mojtaba, the puppet of the Revolutionary Guards, cannot show his face in public.
A message tailored to an audience. Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, speaking there. Noga Tarnopolsky, of course, our correspondent in Jerusalem, observing all words from the mouth of Israel's Prime Minister, and more, of course. Noga giving us a whole rounded assessment of what goes on. Noga, great to have you with us. Give us your sense of what Netanyahu was about in that briefing.
Combative Netanyahu, as I think our viewers could hear, even with the voiceover. He was about a few things. He was about a long war in Lebanon, assuring Israelis who are, as they enter the third week of this war, getting quite frightened by the possibility of just an unending life in bomb shelters. This was a very strange occasion, I have to say. Almost not really a press availability. Netanyahu spoke to a camera, apparently with no one else present in the room. Certain selected journalists were allowed to ask him questions that were piped in by phone, with the journalists not even identified. The first question seemed really planted. I can quote. The second question Netanyahu got began with a journalist saying, "With God's help, I wish you success in the campaign against Iran." So you get a sense of the atmosphere here. Netanyahu addressed the Iranian people as much as he addressed the Israeli people, something that has been commented very significantly this evening here in Israel, where, again, Israelis have not seen their prime minister in public and haven't seen journalists able to question him since the war began. He said to Iranians that Israel was doing everything possible, quote, to lay the groundwork to remove the regime. But then he added at one point, you can lead a horse to water, implying that if the Iranian people who are under bombardment don't take to the streets and somehow topple their own government, there's not more Israel can do. And towards Israelis, what has been most remarked here this evening was that something like half of this event was dedicated to an enraged Netanyahu demanding that the Israeli president cancel his trial. He said he has to do it. He has to do, this is the right thing to do. He didn't use the word pardon, interestingly, though he previously said he would ask for a pardon and he submitted a document. But today, earlier today, the pardons division of the Israeli Justice Ministry determined that what he submitted did not qualify him for a pardon, therefore tying the hands of the president of Israel, who would be taking an illegal step now were he to suspend the legal proceedings, the corruption trial against Netanyahu. So he really, really hit hard on how unfair it is that he's on trial and that it should be suspended by the president.
Indeed, painting himself as the victim, which is something that often people do when they're trying to reinforce the fact that they say that they are innocent. He said that the aim of the war is to enable Iranians to bring down their regime. Easier said than done, of course. You mentioned this idea of a prolonged war with Hezbollah, and Netanyahu warning Beirut, Lebanon, to stop Hezbollah, or Israel will do that.
That's right. And it was said in even more belligerent terms earlier today by Netanyahu's defense minister, who said that if the Lebanese government doesn't disarm Hezbollah and remove it from the Israeli south, I should add, as stipulated in the ceasefire that came into place in November 2024, the defense minister, Israel Katz, said that Israel, quote, would take the territory and get the job done. This is all the more threatening when we hear Netanyahu statements tonight that sounded very similar. And when we listen to the Israeli military chief of staff, the Israeli army chief of staff, who today urged Israelis to prepare for a long war. Now, this is unprecedented regarding Lebanon, and the Israeli evacuation orders tonight regarding all of South Lebanon are, first of all, almost impossible to fulfill, and also without precedent. Although I should emphasize that in Netanyahu's remarks, he did not say that the war against Hezbollah would be long. He seemed to be referring to the joint Israeli-American war in general as something that had no clear end.
Noga Tarnopolsky in Jerusalem, as always, thank you very much indeed for the clarity you bring to a very complicated situation. Noga's our correspondent based there in Jerusalem, giving us the very latest on that brief.